Alright, this is Mr. Raj. I'm going to try this again. I've tried this so many times now, I'm getting very tired. Alright, let's try this. Alright, so Shiva, let's see here. The first question. I think I can do it faster on here than on the mobile, sitting on the floor. Alright, this is maybe faster. Alright, number 1. 85 millimeters to how many centimeters? All we have to do is line it up. So when we line it up, we have 85 millimeters, like this, right? Then we do our ratio. All we know is that when it comes to millimeters and centimeters, and this is something you need to memorize, is that 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. So what we do is we cross these out, and then we're left with 8 over 10. 85 over 10 rather. When you're dividing this, it becomes 8.5 because it's because we have 1 0, right? We just move the decimal place 1 place. So that becomes 8.5 centimeters, all right, because the centimeters did not cross out. Right? That's how you would do the first one. Next one. Next one is you have 6 fluid ounces. 6 fluid ounces. All right, and we're trying to get the answer into cups. All right, so let's put fluid ounces here. We know that 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. All right, so let's go ahead and do our math. These fluid ounces cross out. Now we're left with 6 over 8. 6 over 8, when we divide, we get 8 over into 6. 8 goes into 6, it doesn't go, so we have to add our decimals. 7, 56, 60 minus 56 is 4. Right, we're going to have an infinite amount of zeros because we're doing with decimals. Bring down the 0. 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So our answer is 0.75 what? Cups. Let's work on to the next problem. Our next problem is we have 3,000 kilometers. 3,000 kilometers equals how many meters? All right, so we have to put our measurements. We know that 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. So that means we have to do multiplying. An easy trick to multiply is just multiply these two numbers. 3 and 1. 3 and 1 is 3. Then we can just add our zeros. We have to cross out these, my mistake. So that means how many zeros we have? 3 and 3, that's 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3 million meters. Next. We have 9 yards. 9 yards. And we want to get it in inches. What we do know is 1 yard is 36 inches. So that means all we have to do is multiply, right? These yards cross out. That's 36. All right. Sorry, maybe it's not quite 36. So all I have to do is 9 times 36. 9 times 36 is 324. So the answer is 324 inches. All right. Hope it's making sense. Next one. You have 15,840 feet. 15,840 feet. And we're trying to get this feet into miles. All we know is from memorizing that 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. All right, so let's go ahead and multiply. Well, feet and feet cross out, and actually these zeros cross out as well. We can make it a little bit easier. Right now, all we have to do is divide, right? Because what we're going to be left with is the numerator 1584, right, over 5 to 8. All right, so we have 528 into 1584, and believe it or not, it goes into it evenly at 3. So the answer will be 3 miles. All right, 3 miles. Delete that. Next problem. Next problem is we have 1.5 tons, right? So we want this in pounds. All right. What we do know is there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So all we have to do is multiply those two, right? Ton and 10 crosses out. So now we have to do 1.5 times 2,000, or 1.5 times 2 if that's easy. Then we can worry about the zeros later. So let's go ahead and do that. 1.5 times 2, right? That's 10, and that's 3. All right, because 3.0 is 3. Then we add our zeros, which is 1, 2, 3. So we're left with 3,000 LB or LBS, 3,000 pounds. All right, that takes care of that. The next is the story problem. The story problem is a little bit tricky and hard to understand, but I'm sure we can get it. So 1 stick of butter, so 1 stick, I'll call it ST, equals 1/2 cup of butter. All right, that's one ratio we have. A recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, so we're looking for the answer of 2 tablespoons. All right, so that's going to be our final answer or something like that. Okay, no problem. And there are 16 what? Tablespoons. There are 15 tablespoons in 1 cup. How much of a stick of butter should you use? Well, all right, let's do our chart. So we know that 1 stick equals to 1/2 cup, 1/2 C. So because we don't have another thing for stick, we're just going to worry about our cups. All right, so a cup. We have 1 cup equals 2 TBLS or tablespoons. All right. So, and then we know that. Excuse me, I made a mistake. We have first 1 stick equals 1/2 cups. Then we have 1 cup equals 16 tablespoons. I made a mistake, I'm sorry. But we have, and then we only have 2 tablespoons up here. That's left over. All right. You see how I lined it up? Cup, cup, tablespoon, tablespoon. Because we don't know, we don't have an equivalent for stick, and we're trying to find tablespoons. So let's multiply. 1 times 1 times 2 is, oh yeah, and these cross out. C crosses out, tablespoon crosses out. So we're left with stick because we're trying to find out how much is half a stick or whatever it is. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. All right, that's good. 1/2 times 16, which is 2, goes into 16 8 times. So that's 2 over 8. 2 over 8, we can divide both numbers by 2. We get 1/4. So the answer is 1/4 a stick of butter. 1/4 stick. Because they're asking us how much is a stick. 1/4 of a stick. All right, there you go. I know that one is a little bit confusing, but let's move on. Then you have area. So we have a box or something like that. All right. So this box. So this box is 8 and 12. And finding area. So all we have to do is multiply. So the area is 96. Alright, that was really easy. Alright, next one, number 9. Number 9, we actually have 2 boxes, which is kind of weird. We basically have a big box like here, and we have this little icky box over here. Alright, now after you do the math behind it, after we do the math behind it, you realize when you count it, because it says this is 0, 2, 4, and 6. So that means this with the 6. Then here starts at 2, 4, 6. But nothing can start at 2, so we actually have to count 2. If this is 2 over here in the book, and 4 over here, and 6 over here into 1, 2, 3. That's actually 2 and 2, which is 4. So actually the width is 4. So that means if we multiply these two to find the area, we get 24. And the same thing here. This is actually 2 by 2, which is 4. So the area of both of these, when we add them together, we get 28 square units. All right? Hope that makes sense. So the next one, you have also this weird shape of 3 boxes or 4 boxes, depending on how you want to divide it up. I'll divide it this way, try to make it a little bit easy for us. So let's say we have one long box here. All right, a box here, and a box here. And that's basically the shape of it. All right, and let's add our numbers everywhere. Alrighty, let's do this. So then this, let's see here. Let's worry about this big one. So this big one, right? Let's see here. This height is 10 feet for this box. All right, let's worry about the big box. And this is, together these 2 boxes are 11, but it gives us this size here, which is 5. So 11 minus 5. 11 minus 5, so this would be 6. All right, now this word, so we got that's done. Now this is 5, and then it says the height is 3. And this one's the same thing. This is 5, but the height for this one is 4. We did it. Now we just have to do our math. 5 times 3 for this is 15. 5 times 4 for this is 20. And 6 times 10 is 60. So all we have to do is add 60, 15, and 20. And then our answer is 95 square feet. That's done. Next. All right. So the next one, we have this weird shape. We have this trapezoid looking shape. And you're probably wondering, is Mr. Raj, how do we do this weird shape? Well, what we have, Shiva, is actually we have 2 triangles. All right. We have 2 triangles and a perfect rectangle. All right. Although my drawing's not perfect, but this is what we have. So now let's figure this out. All right. This side, it's given as 24. So then this side is also 24. And the height is 6. All right, so we just have to do 24 times 6 to get the area of this. So 24 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 12 plus 2 is 14. So that's 144 there, right? So that's done. That's 144. All right, so that's done. That's 144. Now we got to find out these rectangles. Well, together this is 32. 24. All this together is 32. All right. So 24 minus 32 is, or 32 minus 24 is, this is 2, this becomes 12, 8. So that means these 2 triangles, have a length of 8. All right, that means we need to divide 8 in half. So this will be 4, and this will be 4. So this will be 4, and this will be 4, because both of them together are 8. Does that make sense? And the height of each one is 6. And to find the formula for area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 of base times height. So it'll be 1/2 times base times height. Well, base times height is 24. 1/2 times 24. That will be 12, right? Because we divide 2 into 24. So that's 12. So now we got 14. So then what we get for the area of all this is 14 plus 12 plus 12. And that is 38. All right, 38 would be the answer. Unless I made a mistake somewhere. The book says 30. No, am I right? Yeah, I'm right. Okay. Hold on, this is 100. Oh, this is 144. Sorry, I made a mistake there. So, let me just cross that out. Right, that's 144 plus 12 plus 12. There we go. So that's 8, 6, 1. 168 feet. All right, that's correct. I'm sorry, I'm making a mistake because I'm talking to myself. All right, next is another box. So we have a box. Oops, that didn't draw. We have another box, and here we're finding volume. All right. So we're trying to find volume here. All right, here's a box. This is 6. This is 8. And this is 4. So that means this is the length. Please remember this. This is the length. This is the width. And this is height. When we're dealing with three-dimensional objects, this is what it is. This is the length. This is the width and height. All right. Technically, I mean, you could say this technically. This is actually the width. And this is the length. We'll do that. And this is the height. All right. Keep in mind that that basically from here to here is always considered the height. All right. So now we have to find volume. Well, volume is just you multiply all of them together. So, and it doesn't matter which one you multiply first. All right. But it's usually length, width times height. All right. So length times width is, which is 8 times 6 is 48. So you have to do 48 times the height, which is 4. Times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. 16 plus 3 is 9. So the answer is 192 meters squared. All right. I hope that helps you out. Now we have another box. Okay, and same thing. We're finding volume. But what's tricky here is that the numbers are put in different areas and it's confusing, not neatly like this one, but it's the same principle. All right, let's try to solve it. So what will be our width? Our width is 11. All right, that's good. Our length is 5. Okay, that's good. And our height is 21. So length times width is 55, and then we have to multiply by our height, which is 21. Let's do our math. 1 times 5 is 5. 5 x or 0. 10. 10, 11. So we have 5, 5, 1, 1. So the answer is 1,155 inches squared. All right, that's how you do that. Delete all this because now we're doing volume of a triangle. So let me go ahead and draw the shape. Here is your triangle. A really weird triangle of mine. All right. All right, and this is number 14. All right, the height is 12. The base radius of this side is 10, and this is 18. So when you're doing the volume of a triangle here, you do the regular area, which is area equals 1/2 times base times height, okay? Then after you get this, you multiply it by the new number. The only new number of a triangle is this number here, right? Because usually in a triangle you just have a 2D shape, okay? Which would be 10 here and 12 here. But what we have now is this new number over here, okay? So then we multiply that by 18. That's my formula. The book's formula is a little bit tricky, but this way is easier. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Base times height for these two is 120. So you have 1/2 times 12 times 10 is 120. 1/2 of that is actually 60. So you have A equals 60 times what? Times 18. So I'll do 18 times 6 and then add the 0 at the end. Make it easy. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 plus that is 10. And then add the 8 that I took out. Put back the 8. And that's our answer. Is 1008. That's 1080. Alright? That takes care of that. Alright, now we're coming to the end, I hope. Next is more three-dimensional shapes, but this one we're finding the surface areas. The surface area formulas are a little bit tricky. Alright, this is 3, 3, 6. This is the width, length, and height. The formula is length times width squared. Next is length times height squared. And lastly is width times height squared. Let's just enter the data in. The length is 3, the width is 3, and then we have to multiply times that by 2. Next is the length is 3, the height is 6, and we have to multiply that by 2. Next is the width, which is 3, and the length that's 6, and height is 6. Multiply that by 2. So we have 9 times 2, which is 18. 18 times 2, 36, and once again 36. So let's add them. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 6 is 20. 5, 6, 3, 6, I'm sorry, 90. Alright, that's 90. Very good. Alright, that's number 15. I'm going to skip 16 because of the drawing's sake and come back to that just now. So let's delete this, and delete this. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I meant to delete the numbers. And then we'll come back to the last one. Alright. So we have, here we go. We have this thing. Let's go for it. So we have the width here, which is 5.4. We have the length being 5.2. See, it's a little bit harder this one because we have to interpret the drawing. And the height here of the new number is 7.2. Alright, let's go ahead and add this in. So the length is 5.2 times 5.4, and that we multiply by 2. Next is 5.2 again times a height of 7.2. I multiply that by 2. Next is we have width times height. Width is 5.4 7.4 times 7.2 times 2. Alright, I'm going to use the calculator to assist us because of time. So you have 5.2 times 5.4, and then we have to multiply that by 2 times 2 gives us 56.16 56.16. Next one, we have 5.2 times 7.2, which equals that, times 2 equals 74.84. 74.84. Alright, next is 5.4 times 7.2, which equals 38. Did I do that right? Let me do that again. We have 5.4 times 7.2. That seems wrong. 38. Put a line to separate this. 38.88. 38.80. 38.88. Can't really see it. Let me verify the middle one's right. 5.2 times 7.2. Yeah, 37.44. I knew I made a mistake. 37.44. And the first one, I think I made a mistake too. 5.2 times 5.4. 28. Oh, I'm sorry, Shiva, I'm making a lot of mistakes here. I'm sorry. Let me start again. 5.2 times 5. Try again. 5.2 times 5.4 equals that times 2. I'm forgetting to do that. And that's the first one. 56.16. Alright, middle one now. That was my mistake. 5.2 times 7.2 gets that times 2. There we go. That's 7.74.88. Next one. 5.4 times 7.2 equals that times 2 equals 7.76. Now let's add them all together. So I'll work backwards. 7.74 plus 74.88 and plus the top one, 56.16. And that gives us an answer of 208.8 centimeters. And that is correct, 208.8. Ooh wee. Alright, that was exhausting. Okay. Delete that. Next one. So we have a triangle. So all the sides are 2. Okay, so we know that. And the height is 4. So it's S equals S squared plus 4 times 1/2 base times height. I'm surprised I know that. Okay. Oh, and let me just review for a second to make sure that's right, because I'm doing this in my head all the time. I'm crazy. Let me see, just no. Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Let's go ahead and solve this. So s squared, right? Any side. So that's going to be 2 squared plus 4 times 1/2 times base times height. Well, the base and height is 2 times 4 is 8. We'll just do that, make it a little bit easier. 2 squared is 4 plus 4. 1/2 of 8 is 4. Alright, now we have to do my dear Aunt Sally. So we have to do 4 plus 16. And the answer is 20. Alright, so we did that. Control A. Alright, now for the grand finale. Alright, this huge thing. So we're trying to find this pizza box thing, but we'll just worry about just drawing the shape, right, and understanding this. So a pizza box is large enough with a diameter of 15. So it has a diameter, right? A diameter goes through the whole box, right? A diameter is 15, all right? But that's not important to us because we want the radius. So what is radius? Radius is half a diameter. So half of 15 is actually 7. If you divide by 2, is 7.5. Okay, half of 15 is 7.5, and the box is 1.5 inches tall. All right, now to find the they want the surface area. So let's write the formula. All right, and then we'll be done. So we have S equals H, all right, times 2 pi r, 2 pi r plus 2 times pi r squared. All right, let's simplify this next. H in this case is 1.5 times 2 pi r. Well, 2 times r. R is 7.5. 2 times r is 7.5 times 2 goes back to 15. So we'll just do 15 times 3.14. All right? Plus 2 times pi, which is 3.14 times r squared. Oh, that's a tough one. That's 7.5 times 7.5 squared, right? Which is 56.5 times 56.25. All right, now let's go ahead and simplify. So you have 1.5 times, let's do that, 15 times 3.14 equals 47.1. I'll put that in different color. 47.1 plus 2 times, let's do this also in different color, times 3.14 times 56.25. We'll round it to 176.63. 176.63. 176.63. Alright, so now we have to multiply these two and then add them. Alright. So let's work on this one. 17 whatever times 2 gives us 353.25. 353.25 plus whatever this is, 1.5 times that. 1.5, so 1.5, yeah, 1.5 times 47.1 equals 70.65. Now we got to add these two and then we get our answer. 70.65 plus 353.25 equals 4329 423.9. Now, I did not get the correct answer as in the book, but I got close enough. I may have made a little mistake here and there, but this is the procedure. So you have the height times 2 pi r plus 2 times pi r squared. Right? You have the height, which is 1.5, 2r pi, or 2 pi r. So that's 3.14 times r, 2 times r becomes 15 again. Alright? Plus 2 times 3.14 r squared. R is 7.5 times 7.5 gives us this number. Right? Then I did 15 times 3.14 and I get this answer. 1.5 times that, excuse me. 15 times that gives us this. Then I did the same thing, 3.14 times 56.25 gives me this. Then I have to multiply this set, and we get this. And multiply this set, and we get that. Then we add them together, and then we get our answer. Alright, there you go. So that concludes the test. Show your work by hand, but you need to memorize not the surface area formulas, at least for the circle, but everything else you should have memorized for the most part. So you need to work on that. But this is what you would do for the test.